And welcome back to Let's Play Pikmin 2, Episode 8. A most pivotal episode, I assure you. Wow, it's dark. But you notice, what's this? What's your... Oh, flint beetle. I don't think we... Wow. Oh, poor flint beetle. Okay, it's dead. You can hit it multiple times now. They used to drop pellets, or they might still drop pellets on the surface. But you know what's this? It's reacting. Yep. Well, believe it or not, well, A, that is obviously a boss arena with a web. So actually, what I'm gonna do is What I see where this problem with before was. Can you imagine? Oh, interesting. There's I don't know. Can you imagine looking up and just seeing the huge spiderweb this is on? And what is actually on that spiderweb? Which is the beady longlegs. This old friend who has our guarding satellite from last time is back. And he's bronzer than ever. Yellow Pikmin, of course, can hit him at any time. Be careful because his little legs will his stompy feet will stomp on us. And as you notice, this is, I think, the first time actually we have a boss arena that actually has more than just a boss. We got a Regal Diamond for only 100 Pokos. Let's scrap metal like 280. Oh. Think. Shit. Wow. That was 7. That's why, especially considering I think... No, never mind. This is the enemy I was talking about where the egg traps were. Damn it. Wow. I am... Dear God, it's a good thing I came with so many. You notice, however, he's steaming, oddly enough. Or it's smoking. And it's dead. It's filled with electricity, apparently. It opens up like a party ball, and we get... something we can't actually access. The key. As you can tell. Sweet victory. The giant insect's body has crumbled to dust. I am quite relieved to know I won't have to sort such an enormous bug. Analyzing soil samples, anomaly detected. What's that glittering widget? Oh, it only requires... Wow, it literally only requires 1 Pikmin? That must be a super undense... What is that? Because normally you say it's a super dense, so... Super undense, I guess? I don't know. But that will actually pop up with a message. So as you can see, you can actually leave the dungeon without actually having to worry about the boss. You can see it's a special item because it has a big glow. The key. Ooh, 40% of the debt cleared. This object seems familiar. How come I know it's the president's parallel dimensional controller? Why the hell does he have that? Alert. It indicates a massive dimensional shift at a distant location. Known as the title screen, actually. I'm receiving a message from a far-flung dimension. Displaying the message now. Challenge mode can now be accessed from the title screen. It appears to be total gibberish. Hopefully the message has reached its intended recipient. It did. I will name the apparently worthless device the key. So, from this episode on, you will actually be seeing challenge mode on the channel now. I should write a note for that once that episode uploads. Well, we didn't get as big of a haul as yesterday. 23 deaths. But we got 883 Pokos today. Well, actually, we got a little bit more because we have that one item on the surface. Perplexing pool. %40 of the debt recovered. Oh, did all my... Yep, all our little enemy corpses left. But the stuff didn't respawn, which is a bit troublesome, actually. Believe it or not. Because I could have used them. Now you notice that... Yeah, it's not reacting. There is nothing more we can actually do here. So, with our sorry totals, we will actually end this early, I guess. We got the normal music because I think there's actually like a dingy trumpet version if you get like very little or no treasure at all. But we got a respectable amount, so Louis' face is still sticking outside of the ship. Oh, and his face just got hit in the head. What? His face just got hit by a wally log. Days report. You sucked. 133. We increased by 36. Oh, more terrible news. I thought I went to Happy Hocketate Savings and Loan. Seems my loan came from the shop next door. All devouring black hole loan sharks. Oops. Wow. Oops indeed. How? I imagine they pretended like the building looked the same, or... That's really bad, if the name has anything to say about that. We better get this done quick. So, what won't be quick, however, will be my reading. Fire Bulblax. Fire Bulblax, Oculus volcanus. Grubdog family. Bodily excretions of a highly flammable, waxy substance interact with the cell structure, so it's like sodium where it just combusts spontaneously, with the or hydrogen. By the way, fuck hydrogen gas. So you know how I'm nuclear? If you didn't know, I want to become a nuclear engineer. Hydrogen gas is actually the reason why Fukushima is the way it is. Just so you know. It has nothing to do with actual... I mean, it's complicated. But basically, I guess some sort of byproduct included like some sort of zirconium thing, and it reacted with air that they used to relieve the pressure. Because they like vented it into a sealed chamber above it, an emergency chamber. And the zirconium reacts with the oxygen and causes hydrogen gas. Now, if you didn't know, apparently hydrogen gas can actually combust from like the static electricity that's naturally on our skin. So it's extremely explosive. Anyways, with the cell structure of this grubdog's skin, causing a chemical reaction that produces extremely high temperature. The skin benefits from a spongy cell structure that diffuses the surface heat, leaving the creature's inner organs. Due to the astonishing amount of heat produced by this freeze, it should be observed with great caution. No stove? No problem. This sizzling beast practically cooks itself. Remember to thoroughly extinguish the sticks prior to eating though. Water nipple. I remember these, I think, didn't these things like totally eviscerate the squad I had last game? Water nipple. Ichthyosophilinis. It's a cat? Grubdog family. A resident of freshwater pools and marshes, this aquatic creature regularly feeds on insects that land on the surface of the water. She has a nearly identical skeletal structure with its close relative and terrestrial cousin, the bulbarb. This may offer clues to its evolution origin, such that it only recently immigrated to aquatic habitats. Deep-fried dimples without butter for all of the flavor with half the fat. Here's a flint beetle. The flint beetle. Philly invilampinus. Flint beetle family. Flint beetles are nocturnal, choosing to hide in the grass by day, stay active at night. These creatures keep undigested food pellets in their stomachs, sustaining them throughout the winter. But given the right stimulus, they will spit them out. Recent research has revealed that these pellets are enveloped in a membrane that seals and preserves them in a sterile, airtight environment. How convenient. If kept at room temperature, it seems that this pellet membrane will keep its contents fresh for up to 6 months. Membrane may be made from the same substance that gives the exoskeleton of the flint beetle its beautiful sheen. That would make sense. Because like certain stuff, like plants, depending on the soil, well no, I don't know if that was actually based on that. Putting the acid and basic concentration of a soil, like hydrangeas will be different colors, but that might not be what it is. Basically, like certain things, I know if they eat like certain stuff with certain pigments, they develop that cover on their outer shell, or skin or something. And is that actually true? I remember hearing eating carrots will turn your skin orange if you eat so many of them. Is that actually true? Because that would be a prime example of what I'm talking about. An essential, flavor accentuating ingredient in gumbo and jambalaya. Also delicious in soups, broths, and marinades. Cheerwig. Cheerwig. The Magia volaris mandibular family. New for the genius. Flying mandibulars have retained their wings. However, only the adult males of the species can fly. Females of the species spend most of their lifespan on the ground. They do emerge for a period after maturation to spawn, but never metamorphose. Grate this beast into zest and whisk with sugar, cream, and chopped dark chocolate for a deliciously indulgent mousse. That's a true culinary coup de grace. Anno beetle. Anno beetle, Scarabum electrodia, scarab beetle family. This specimen is representative of an insect hybrid that uses electricity in addition to glycogen for its energy. Though difficult to confirm due to their microscopic size, tiny hairs on the creature's legs cause the friction that generate, so that's why they move always. Generates an electrical charge. The electric charge is processed by the creature's internal machina battery structure and then stored as a deus electrical field. Deus means God in Latin. As this field reaches critical levels, surplus electricity is emitted, resulting in a low voltage current is transmitted between two specimens. It can shock other creatures in the immediate vicinity. During this process, it can be surmised that the largest impetus to pack behavior is not so much for synergistic effect, reducing as a pack, as it is to take advantage of the most effective means of group preservation. So basically they hang together because they shoot electricity together. Drain the electrical charge before boiling. Although it is possible to eat an anoid beetle while it is charged, it may result in an unpleasant tingling sensation. Hermit Crawmad. Hermit Crawmad doesn't come out to play. Fine. Shy. Hermit Crawmad Camabarus rustica. Crawmad family. Looking at the eyes and the sickle-shaped legs characteristic of squillas, one would think this is a squilla relative. In fact, it's a relative of the hermit crab. The species, however, has migrated from seaside life in a shell and instead inhabits burrows in the ground. In the ocean as well, apparently. Most legs appear sickle-like. They are pincers that have evolved into a fin shape. The species feeds on small creatures that pass by its lair, dragging them inside to eat them. Shuck from the shell, bake on high heat until crispy, then dip in a pot of melted milk chocolate, lips smacking sweet. I'll take your word for it, I don't like seafood at all. Swooping snitchbug. Swooping snitchbug. Sarpanacea casperinus. Serpenid family. So, you know, I wonder if every single one of these, like, genius names are actually, jokes. Because I know certain ones of them are. The Scarpinatus originally lived on the ground sporting poorly developed visual wings. Species developed enlarged antennae that can be used as makeshift wings. Scarpinids are attracted by the sight of large groups of Pikmin and cavalry formation. They'll swoop down to seize them. However, Scarpinids do not eat Pikmin, and they will drop any seized Pikmin after a short time. Even for the behavior is unknown, but I look forward to future research in the area. Remove the wings, marinate a well-marbled steak for several hours in a chipotle marinade, then charbroil to perfection. Fire Weevil. Mandarachnus napalmus. Like that, for example. Mandarachnid, mandible arachnid, and napalm is napalm. Dweevil family. Members of the Dweevil family are known for carrying objects of astounding size on their backs, then mimicking them. Biodweeble is one species of the family. Generally, a very general insect that feeds on grass nectars, but when faced with danger, Biodweeble ignites flammable internal grasses, juts out its jaws, and spews scorching flames. This clearly makes it a rather dangerous insect. It's best not to linger directly in front of it. The search for a gourmet, high-protein salad topping alternative to bacon bits is over. Grind the spicy dweevil into tasty micro-chunks and toss them generously over your salad to add instant flair and flavor. This must be the oddest thing to hear outside my door. Just like cooking recipes for fake things. Yellow Wollywog, Amphicorus Fordenium, Amphituber family. This magnificent specimen has the brightest gold coloration and the greatest number of lateral spots of any member in the Amphituber family. She seems to have lost some swimming proficiency with evolutionary adaptation, but had a greater jumping ability. Amphituber inhabits aquatic shallows and shows an instinctive drive to jump upon and squash smaller creatures. How mean. Beer batter and deep fry for a down-home flavor you won't soon forget. Queen Candypop Bud, Flora regina, Candypop family. This specimen constantly changes colors. Pikmin are thrown into it and shoots out seeds that match the flora's coloration the moment the Pikmin land inside of it. When seeds shot out is always greater than the number of Pikmin thrown in it. You said that this is a completely baffling plant. Many mysteries remain over precisely what sort of relationship it has with the Pikmin. It appears that the Pikmin gain all the benefit from the relationship. This is simply a different variety of Pikmin to begin with. Interesting. Or it might be related directly to the onion. Eating this flower leads to a spectacular, breathtaking indigestion. Interesting. Skitterleaf. Skitterleaf. Rus pseudoarbicanus, skitterling family. Skitterleaf is a relative of the pond skitter that sheds its wings, adapted to life on the ground. With no residual traits of its airborne past, the skitter... What? Pond skaters aren't airborne, I don't think. They're the things that float on the water, right? Using a surface engine. Leaf can neither fly nor skid across the surface of the water. And case in point. Wings have since evolved into a leaf-like structure on his back, which serves to hide the skitter leaf through mimicry. It appears quite effective as few predators can see through this clever disguise, except for us. The superb amalgamation of juicy meat and leafy greens ensures that the skitter leaf will be the new spinach. Sweet seeding dandelion. Seeding dandelion, Pteraxum ventilis dandelion family. I believe that this plant produces tufted seeds with a parachute-like arm, which allows the seeds to ride gently on the wind. This increases the distribution room of the plant considerably. Dried, roasted, and finely ground, the root of this plant makes a passable coffee substitute. Finally, beady longlegs. The amount of shaking on my Wii remote is insane. As you can tell. Beady longlegs, Pseudorachnia amoris, arachnor family. Although this creature is commonly associated with spiders, is actually a result of a separate evolutionary line of insectoid creatures, as you can tell because it's 4 legs. This is a vertical body section supported by the creature's legs and carries most of its internal organs. Appears to be no other features that would correspond to a head or abdomen. Poisonous. Consumption results in prolonged writhing and uncontrollable mirth. That's right, we actually have these to deal with. Love Nugget. This tasty red snack isn't quite a fruit, but it doesn't seem like a vegetable either. It is a fruit, though. It's like, what does it have that makes it a vegetable? Like, I think the only thing it has going for it that makes it, people think it's a vegetable, is the fact that it doesn't grow on trees, and I think that's it. But it doesn't, okay. I've analyzed it extensively, and it appears to be releasing stimulating pheromones. Maybe I should feed it to my wife. Sex joke? King of Sweets. I've discovered a complex series of underground tunnels in the perplexing pool. It seems I can't walk 10 steps without discovering something previously unheard of. New discoveries nurturing my explorer spirit. As a reward for my lane scientific breakthrough, I think I'll eat this grand sweet. Well, I hope you're ready to pay 15 pokos. Which, 100 pokos more than a year's salary, so probably, a year's salary is probably like 90-ish. So that's like 2 months' salary. Tomorrow, shell. I've observed several specimens of shell-dwelling creatures inhabiting the perplexing pool. One of these facey beasts forms a spherical gem within the meaty depths of the shell. The clamperl thing from last time? In a way, this gem could be considered this creature's life work. These are my children, my life's work. And I consider my channel my life's work. Flame of Tomorrow. From the beginning, unless I actually do something important for fusion work. From the beginning of time, many people searched for a perfectly clean, endlessly renewable source of energy source. Fortunately, we never found anything close to it. Having these two objects, because actually, there is no such thing. Because, like, solar energy is not renewable. Eventually, the sun's gonna die out. Wind energy, eventually, the sun's gonna die out, so we're gonna lose heat, so we're gonna lose heat variations, which I think is the cause of wind, because it affects pressure. Well, it affects the density, which therefore affects pressure. By Bernoulli's equation. Yay for physics. Which is actually nice, actually finally getting like stuff like, oh wait, this actually matters in my actual life. Having these two objects seems to produce fire. Maybe this is a long lost energy source we've always been searching for. No, not at all. Heck, it's the source for actually, is it magnesium that's on torches? I guess, no, not on all torches, it's resin. On matches, I don't actually know. Impediment Scourge. Yellow Pikmin are infatuated with high places. They seem to love it when I toss them high in the air. Once I hurled them up to a high area and they came back down with this treasure. Time capsule. Supposed to be some kind of a memorial capsule left by a lost civilization. Beyond some image data, but I can't make any sense of it. I have to do some additional analysis. I'll document any exciting new developments, log along with pages and pages of meaningless doodles. Whatever keeps you going, Almar. Lip service. I'm glad he actually has. Well, actually, he did have logs last game. Never mind, he did have a voice. And a conscious, which I don't actually think really rears its head anywhere, because, you know, if you actually, like, blow up a Pikmin, he's like, oh, I'm a terrible person. I don't think he really cares in this one anymore. I've never had much desire to climb the corporate ladder, but I'm beginning to think I should. Every year that my kids grow older, they get more expensive. Taking care of them is my most important duty. I should take lessons from the ship how to be a high-pressure salesman. That'd rake in the cash. Regal Diamond. The other day, my daughter begged me to get her some jewelry. You become so fashion conscious. I know girls grow up quickly, but never imagined it would happen this fast. Paradoxical Enigma. I'm not just an intergalactic space captain, but I'm also an artiste. I see the inner beauty in everything. Some things other people call ugly and boring. I find intellectually stimulating and aesthetically pleasing. It's true. I'm sophisticated like that. Do you want to bring any options? Or, like, evidence? Patience sensor. When I see a closed container, I cannot help myself. I feel like I must open it and see what's inside. Never keep him near a waste silo, because you don't want to open that. When opening it, it could lose its value. Because I'll just have to use my imagination. I don't even know what a water chestnut is, to be frank with you. You have inspiration. Fascinating. I keep staring at the symbol. I know I'll come up with a brilliant idea for a new product. And finally, the key. Suddenly came from personal treasure hoard of a massive Pikmin devouring spider. The cave was crawling with all kinds of fearsome creatures. I decided to name that Eerie Cave Citadel of Spiders. The ship can't stand bugs. Or ask you to store a specimen for salvage. Threatens to stage a mutiny. Then I realized, hey, you're controlled by the captain. Can we return to tile screen? That's what I wanted. I never actually showed this intro. What we can now do is challenge mode. I will probably not be doing two-player battle. Oh, I never actually did this. I could have sworn I did Explorer's Cave. This is challenge mode. This will be our DLC, I guess, equivalent for this DLC and such. So, you may or may not actually be seeing this next time. I don't know if something else will come up before it. I don't know. But, yeah. So, we will start doing that next time-ish. Even though next time will actually be episode 9 of this. But, that's it for this episode. So, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. See ya.